Hello viewers, welcome to Miss Tanya Show. Thank you for watching Miss Tanya Show. Today I have motion and grace. Today we are going to be talking about identity. So guys, identity, what is identity?
Okay, Miss Tanya, thank you so much for that golden opportunity. Identity. Identity is very broad and it's very multifaceted. We're talking about identity. Talking about identity in terms of sex. Kuti uri mukomana here kana kuti uri mumusikana. Saka zvongoti uri mukomana kana kuti uri mumusikana zvogona kutokupa identity yako. We can talk identity with the issues pertaining even your race. Handitika kuti murungu uyu mubvuwa uyu mutema. Handika saka takatoungana vakongo nevatema kuti uri mutema is your identity. Handitika saka we can even talk identity about even your character. Kuti vanhu vanokuziva sei kuti uri munhu wakaita sei, akangwarisa here. Handika vakaita sei vana mumotion. Handika nokungwarisa vamwe vanokunyanyararisa. Saka izvozvo zvinotokupa identity. That is what all I can say about identity. I don't know, Mrs. Grace.
Well, I think when we're talking about identity, we are simply talking about who you are. I mean, like who you are from within, the person you perceive yourself to be, the person you think yourself to be, how you carry yourself, how you treat yourself when you're among others, how you perceive yourself when you're within a group. I mean, like a position. It can be in a family, in an organization, in a social status, a social platform. So who you are in that position or in that state can be your identity. Or I can talk about like how people recognize you, the position that people gives you when you are, maybe you're working in the world, you're working, maybe it's in an organization, like I said. So how people recognize you is an identity, and how you perceive yourself to be, how you think yourself to be, can be an identity.
All right, okay. So how does your cultural background shape your identity?
Myself, I think I can say, culture is a strong influence when it comes to identity. Because culture is, when we're talking about culture, we're talking about norms, values, and beliefs that can shape up a society. In other words, like how people in a certain society behave, what is acceptable in that society and what is not acceptable. So culture can shape your identity to behave in a certain way. I mean, like it can make you the person you never planned to be. Yeah. But simply because you are living to impress someone, to impress a certain group, or to impress a certain, what can I say, a society, if I can say. So, for example, I am from Zimbabwe, from Africa, Zimbabwe. There is a culture that we always know how a girl child has to behave when they are working in the community and when they are at home. So I am the person I am. I dress the way I dress up simply because of what is acceptable in the society that I grew up in. So for example, I cannot walk around naked, of course, simply because in the society I grew up in, the moment you wear up something that is high above your knees, it's already unacceptable. So this is how culture shaped my identity. So now when people see me out there, it's very easy to predict that this can be actually from Africa. I'm different from when I'm coming from India, because culture is shaped how I talk, how I walk, how I carry myself around, and how I dress up.
Okay, yeah, it's very strong.
That's futhi tiri papo panyaya cultural behavior papa. But how does it affect even your identity? A cultural background ine chokuita chezvo panyaya identity yemunhu. Nekuti mukatarisa kutoona kutoti even cultural background yako, let's take for example munhu muZimbabwe, munhu abva kuGokwesend, handitika akaenda kuHarare, handiti mukatora vanhu 10 handika vabva kuGokwe pane mbudzi, handika mukanovaisa paCopacabana paya handika ukatora munhu anogara kuna Sami Mugabe kukwararo ukauya ukamumisa apa handika vakatamba vese kwe1 hour unokwanisa kutokunongera 10 vabva kugokwevaya kuti uyu ndokumusha uyu ndokumusha handika just because of the cultural background. Saka munhu uyu anenge achitoziva handika kuti le munhu Copacabana marari vanoita sei handika the way you conduct yourself handika the way you talk handika the way you laugh handika unoona kuti akamusesekera akaka ndike munhu akakopa handika mageto echa adai handika the way you dress you can even see kunyange shangu kuno kugeto chachako chako masungira haunoita shangu vanotokudza toti hai skiri ndokupi ndiro kukumusha handika saka cultural background it has got a great influence panyaya identity yomunhu handika even vasikana chaivo musikana abva kumusha handika unotoonekwa ma-first days ake chirake atochinja ake as time moves on but unotomuona kuti sesi ava vakamitiro kavaka makwerero avo sadza ava handika vasikana even yokumusha vanopambira sadza handika kutaona vamwe havatozvizivi kuti sadza vopambira handika aja mutongosiva saka unotozvona kuti cultural background it has got a great influence identity.
By the way, I think I got a question. So you mean like when talking about the cultural background, as in like the way it affects my identity. Also, you mean like culture has got something to do with the environment, whether the town, the rural setup, and all.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you look, for example, kumusha andika mwana musikana anotongoreredzwa kuti unotongomuka ma5-6 handika zvisinei nokuti unoenda kubasa hauendi kubasa handika but kutown there's freedom handika musikana kana kutumuka kuma9 handika nekuti background yacho yekutaura ndo zvaitongora but musikana aziva kutomuka na5 otsvaira kuvasha zuva parinobuda unomona achitopinda gate nesvinga neunhu handika saka the way they are trained handika iyo indiwa cultural background yokumusha kuti zuva richitobuda anotosvika pamba akasenga svinga handika but uyu nguva idzodzo ndo dzaidatinga kutomuka aitotomalichi handika nekuti
our backgrounds or kuti our parents vari kuti treat us because kutamu you can actually see kuti the same zviri kuitwa kumusha izvozvo that is the same zvinenge zvichikuitwa kutamu kuti munhu anogona kumukira achitsvaira even wekutamu vanogona kumukira vachitsvaira and doing so.
Well, I think like from the look of things, it all goes back to how cultural background has brought you up.
Yes.
Because if we are talking about like the rural setup and the urban setup, culture remains culture. I mean, what is acceptable where you were brought up? Remember, culture always, it also involves the people that brought you up.
Yes.
Despite you being born in a rural setup, but the person who brought you up is from there. They were the things that they believe already that you cannot run away from. Okay. So you can see a girl child next door in an urban setup doing makeup. I mean, like the way they grew up, they were spoiled. They were pampered. But as for me, I woke up, I know I have to work because that's what I was taught to do.
Okay.
Yeah, my mom said this is what you're supposed to be doing. Yes. I also want to wake up and do makeup, but I can't. Yes. And even they don't even want to see me putting on a lipstick.
Yes.
Yeah, they don't like that. So that's what actually like brings now the difference between this person and this person. I'm talking about cultural impact on someone's identity.
Okay. So how does identity influence the way you interact with others?
Okay, on that issue, your identity. Let me just take an example. My religions or identical. Maybe later a get together, my fellowships are legal. Then some of the youth maybe a band of Kuma Rock, Kuma town, and Liga. Panoshika Paya, and Liga. Sandaka Wana Mandi. She knows right out in there, she young it is if it is that. In self-esteem. And Liga. People who come from the rural areas, they've got low self-esteem. And especially when they meet those people that Roma have been, and they just feel as if they are just substandard. Yes. You get this sense. And so that even the participation in Yav also in a very, very low. just because of yokuti vanenge vachifunga kuti identity yedu isiso, it is a little bit substandard than the identity for yavanhu vakakurira pa mutown. Andika saka ma-interactions avo they don't link zvekutodaro. Andika it's just because nekutoti pavanenge vakatobva vakatongosiyana, even the way they conduct themselves vari kumisha. Andika even ukatasa joy yacho. Andika it seems vekumaibhino. Andika they've got no limit. Andika zvimwe zvezvinhu zvamunofunga kuti hazviiti muri kumusha kuno zvinoita. Andika wasinoona kuti wavatodanzira muchiti vatoti hoyo. Andika mufundisa chiparisa toti hoyo makapenga kufundisa. Andika but kumusha unaona kuti chiiko chinevediwe tonyanyarira pari. Andika nekuti inyaya yekuti identity yavo. Andika the way it nurtured them inenge yakatowauza kuti that thing is very bad.
I think it's also something that goes beyond like a group perspective. I mean, like sometimes like your identity and interaction with some other people. Like I highlighted earlier, like sometimes culture yako kana kuti makuru awakaita ayaya zvakada instill something in you. So now when it comes to my interactions, to interact with some other people, so you see that person when they are brought up, for example, they go kubasa and they're in a boardroom, they can't contribute anything because they were told so that person, their identity is locked inside themselves. Why? Because they were just told when they are elders you don't say anything. Yes. So they've got the potential to air out something but they can't. Why? Because they were told so. So it would take some stages and a certain process for someone to actually unlock their identity.
It's very true. Have you ever faced discrimination and challenges based on identity?
Yeah. My identity, I mean, like as being a woman, it's actually an identity that I'm a female by sex, by gender.
Yes.
So I faced discrimination, I mean, in terms of education, in our family, and even at work, I had those challenges. Where they're like, this is a lady, so she can't be promoted. She's a lady, so she can't go to school while these boys are here, because boys will always support back the family. So I was treated as like, maybe I'll go and get married and then I will not be able to support back the family, give back to the family. So it was a really challenging situation for me.
Yeah, it's very true.
And on top of that, there's a certain discrimination. It seems that we can even not run away from it, just because of identity.
Mm-hmm.
There's a certain discrimination that can even come automatically just because of identity. Let me take, for example, identity in terms of gender. Where there are boys and girls, when they are just mingling, and untuna kutoti vasikana vanotanga kutongotamba kuvoga andika but musina kana kumboti vasikana ndaga kuma ndaga andika that discrimination yotongoti vakumana kana kuti vasikana ndero vakumana ndero andika iyo itongetika automatically andika kuzoya imwe discrimination yokuti inouya through identity inini ndona soka ndona bora andika tinoona kuti there are some black people who play soccer abroad andika kuna Spain andika those people is nyayo yakatoa omboneza zvokuti vakasvika pakuintroduce a certain agenda inonzi Black Lives Matter.
On skin color.
On skin color. You get the sense. Came because of identity. Andika the whites they say these are blacks. Andika that's why you see kuti vakazointroduce the Black Lives Matter. So that those people who so called them blacks, they feel comfortable, they feel at place.
Yeah,
you get this. Saka that discrimination inotongouya andika. Saka that is where discrimination can come through identity andika. Because where discrimination not through identity, just because you kungoti oti wakavepi. You get this. People they select each other. Those are that even no mukenda kuma tertiary educations andika maslim queen anotitamba oga. Why? Because they identify them as slave queens. Andika saka vanga kuti slave queens totamba toga mati mashona vanotamba chi oga.
That is bad.
Yeah, it's very, very. I think, like from what you're saying, even language also contributes to that. The moment they realize that you speak this kind of Shona, they already know this one is from Mashingo, this one is from Blawa, this one is from Harare, and from this place. They have already identified you by the way you speak.
Yes, it's
So
they laugh at you.
Yeah. They'll be like Agasara.
Yes,
So so identity carries such challenges.
Yes.
That's what pane discrimination yandakatoona yakutongoya mazuva ano mukonero wacho iko zvino vana chihera vawanda kumasingle mothers andika the fact yekuti they are identified as vana chihera andika isisu totosha kutokuona vana chihera andika because ivo vakazvi identify kuti ini ndenharo andika ini ndine kikeshto not knowing kuti it is causing it's tarnishing their image andika so some of them they are now just suffering the negative consequences just because of that identity andika umwe mwana unokura akangodzidzikama andika pano kuzosvika kuzve17 16 uko pane ndakuziva kuti chihera ndewenharo umwe mwana tochinja maitiro aita kutoita nausina basa noda kuti unoziva kanga kuti chihera ndewenharo saka isita kutovasha tobasiya vakadaro.
It's very true. Okay, so how do you express and celebrate your identity? How do you express?
I think identity can be something that is hidden in the inside of you.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said earlier, that sometimes culture can make you to hide an identity that is in the inside of you. Something that this one I can do excellently and perfectly, but you cannot express that because there is no platform for it. There is no exposure and opportunity for you to actually expose that identity. So, being given an opportunity and a platform, for example, maybe in Africa per se, if you give a child education, they'll be able to express their identity. Even resources, I mean, like give them money, make them attend like some other talent competition and all. You can identify that this person, they are able to do A, B, C, D. They can be this interactive. Why? Because initially they did not have exposure, but now they've got exposure. They've got now a platform to express who they are, so they can actually bring out who they are simply because there is a platform.
Yeah, it's very, very
That's what ipapa vanyanzi kuexpressa nekucelebrate identity yako. The other thing ndechekuti kana ane vamwe andika it doesn't matter that you have got a certain identity which is different andika be confident enough andika be confident enough of what you are. That's why mukati pama-televisions makambointrodusa chimwe chiuyiso chiadvert chinonzi black is beauty andika kungoti pakangoitiwa chotobuda chakutonzi green is made of black andika it was just kuti they were just trying kungoti vangoti black is not bad because vanhu vaitomboseka andika kuti black color andika so vakatona kutoti aiwa black is a beauty andika saka this one is not build a confidence in who you are. Besides kuti black vamwe vakatuka vamwe andika you will just be confident enough andika ende pakuexpress apa andika pakuexpress identity yako andika tuti pamwe wewe wakakurira kumasvingo andika vanhu vekumasvingo nekuna chipingo andika they've got some rules and regulations that governs their living standards andika andika zvekutoti pane kamwe kekutoti zvinonzi kunyenga musikana wewe kumasvingo unototoda 2 months andika because anoramba andika but if you go maybe to Matebeleland andika it's different from here andika Matebeleland kunyengana nokudekudi andika zvinhu zviri so simple zvokuti havana basa nema-complications andika
Yes, I love you too.
Yes, I love you and I love you too. You get this sense. Saka iwewe kana une identity yoyo ukaenda kuMatebeleland andika maintain that standard nyangwa uchiramba andika uchinzi ndine kumasvinga ndine kukutipinda vane ma-complications utozati tine zvibinge. You get this. Saka be confident of who you are andika ita izvozvo zvamunoita kwenyu ikoko kwavanenge vari iwe vachiita zvaunoita iwewe just maintain it. Maybe as time goes on they can even copy it in zvakanaka izvo.
All right.
Wow, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So, what is the relationship between identity and gender roles? The relationship
Between identity
and gender roles.
Gender roles. Yeah. I think of course maybe you're talking about gender is something which is quite broad. I mean, like gender, like being a boy, being a female, and being a male. But in this case, I can say like identity and gender roles. I think it's something that has to be kind of separated, because me being a woman does not mean that necessarily that I can do every other thing that a woman can do,
Yeah, it's very
and
true.
him being a man does not necessarily mean that,
You can
you know.
everything.
And
Yes.
also, I think we can also talk about the being identity and some gender roles. Like, I think you can talk about sharing opportunities. I think you have to identify first something that is in your child or in your friend as a girl or as a woman. And you can actually tell, like, okay, I think she can perform these roles because of you've now managed to identify someone's identity despite being a woman or being a man. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. I really agree with what Mrs. Chris is saying.
Yes.
In terms of identity and gender roles. Identity and gender roles. Yes, there are some roles which are expected to be seen being done by a male. And there are some other roles which are expected to be done by a woman.
Okay.
You get the sense. But man, in let me run away from male and female, right? Let me go with identity. You go to company, so Panama wise in my blacks. You see, my wise, they tend to get a valuable positions.
Yes,
Despite
You
being
get
men,
this
being female.
despite being male and female, and you get the sense good even unaona kutonze they are given a valuable positions just because of identity.
Yes.
Pampata abazotaya sichi gender, even in a position, deserve a man.
Okay.
Just because they've got a certain superior
It's very
person,
belief.
It's very
they
true.
think that no, there's no way a black person can lead that company. So even a woman can lead. You get this sense?
Okay.
Saka ipa baba, that is the issue. But identity can even be related to gender roles.
Okay, yes,
Okay.
thank you so much. Okay, so how can you recognize your identity? In our communities, in our families, how do you recognize your identity?
I think in this thing, we need self introspection, as we say.
Okay.
Like, you can look at the things that you like to do, how you like to behave, and that can be actually your identity. And like I said, it can be something that is hidden. I mean, like, it can be overshadowed simply because of my groups. I mean, my friends are with the family groups, religious groups, with cultural groups and all, right? If I can say. So I think you can identify your group. There's some other things that when someone is doing, you'll be like, I think I don't like this one. So exactly the fact that you don't like something, that's who you are.
Yeah, it's very
That's your
true.
identity. You can
Yes.
identify with it. I think I am a person who just likes to be silent, to be quiet.
Yeah.
I love to talk a lot. Because you can see when you're with some other people, you can talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you can even talk alone. That's how you can actually identify that I'm talkative. Because even when I'm alone, I talk. So you get to know this is the person I am. You love to dance. So you are that person who is an extrovert. I mean, like, you love just to be with some other people.
Yeah,
So you can tell this is the person I am. So I think that's the time that you need to actually like use your identity for your advantage.
Yes.
You've identified that I love to talk, so what can actually make me fit in and me with others as well.
Yes, and be proud of
And be proud of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one is so interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
Mama told us sometimes you left talking alone. I'm the one of the people
So
who
you
is
are an
always talking alone.
extrovert.
Yeah, because of our time, guys, I think we really enjoyed the show. We really learned a lot. Thank you guys for coming to Miss Tanya show. I really appreciate it. No good die. So, at funny, we should not look down upon each other. We should be proud of ourselves. So, guys, ngatisazotarisira ipasi vanobva kumusha vanhu vanobva kutauni vanhu vasikana vanhu vakomana vanhu. So let's be proud of ourselves, guys. See you next time. I'm Tanya Deborah Mangoro.